Another Saturday morning, and it means it's time for the Cummins Real Estate Group show with Michele Cummins and myself, Curtis Pope. Now, I know we have stats coming this episode because it's the 4th, which means you got to have stats.
Yes, they just came out a few days ago.
Okay, so I know that's going to be the second half of the show.
2 days ago. Yes, second segment.
Okay, so we got that part figured out. That's good because I don't know what we're doing for the first half, but I guess the first half I should ask you about is your trip since you sent your other half last week and we stumbled through a show and didn't do too much damage. I mean, we're on the air now, so we haven't been canceled. So.
Thank goodness. I told him to watch his T's and, his P's and Q's.
His P's and Q's,
And how did it go? I need to ask you that.
It went well. We had fun. We had maybe too much fun. But, James said nice things about you, talking about his experiences with you. We did talk some real estate.
Yay.
So we talked about, the process of buying and selling a home through you from his side of things. And, and then I touched a bit on, what it was like, too, for us and basically, agreed with a lot of things he was saying. And so we talked about the whole process from beginning to end with you as a realtor.
Aw, thank you. That's so sweet. I haven't listened to it yet. I've got to go on the podcast and listen to it.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I think it just uploaded the other day on YouTube, so I really should watch
It's probably not one to watch.
I've been kind of...
Really? It's not a pretty program for the three of us.
I was a little nervous sending Richard in, but...
Yeah. But we got through it. We had some fun, and but now we can get back to real business, and we can do what we really do, and not talk, about, well... We often don't talk about real estate, but there's always an element to the show where we talk real estate. But I know you were at a conference in Banff?
In beautiful Banff. Oh, my gosh.
Banff in January. That must have been a real rough trip.
It was so gorgeous. You know what? I didn't bring the right shoes, so I had to get a really good pair of like minus 26, minus 28 type of boots. And then, it was fantastic. But I had such a good time, and the conference was amazing. I got to bring my listings and showcase and shop my listings around to all these realtors across Canada, mostly Western Canada, Manitoba to the island, but a lot of East Coast realtors came out as well, and brokerage owners, and it was really great. And I promoted, of course, the Fraser Valley because that's where I work mostly from. I could sell all throughout BC, but I was like, I want to bring the Fraser Valley there and give it showcase it and give it a light. So I was thinking, well, we've had so many different breweries open up throughout our area. So the Lower Mainland, but mostly Fraser Valley, and including, Chilliwack, Abbotsford, Langley. All of our areas have amazing breweries. So I was like, I'm going to pick maybe 3, and I'm going to go and I'm going to serve some samples of our local brew and really promote the sturgeon fishing on our Fraser River and my Airbnbs. And so I really encouraged realtors to come out, check out our area, get to know what the Fraser Valley is like for your clients, who you're referring in, and things like that. So had a blast. I have to tell you, Curtis, have you ever done a helicopter ride?
No, I have not.
Okay. Number 1, I've never have either. Number 2 is the best thing you can experience. I had the best time of my life. I actually went up. They go from Canmore, so you take a bus to Canmore, a 20-minute or so bus ride, and then you take a 50-minute walk, and then, oh my gosh, you get in this helicopter. I got to sit in the front. I knew I would love it, but I didn't know I would love it that much. I wanted to be a bird for the rest of my life. I did not want to stop. It's a 45-minute ride is the one I took. And I was like, do we have to stop? How long can you go in a helicopter without having to stop for gas? And he said, with the weight we have, about 2.5 hours. And I'm like, let's go. No more tours today. We're continuing. No, but it was such a blast. It was just so beautiful. And so they have this conference every 2 years. And it is it must be the best place to take a helicopter ride because it was outstanding. I'll have to share some on social media. I'll share some of my photos and my video that I took up there.
That's pretty cool. I mean, a few years ago, perk of the job, I got to go up in the Goodyear blimp.
That would be a blast. That
was a lot of fun. Now, the blimp can only go so high. That's one of the things about a blimp. Yeah. So we're up, I don't know, a few thousand feet, couple thousand feet, whatever it is. I don't know. But it's so relaxing being up in a blimp because you're just basically floating.
Very peaceful, huh?
Yes, and you've got the hum of the motors and stuff, but it's very peaceful, and you just there's no real sharp drops or movements. It's all very fluid and it feels like you're floating because you are.
Yeah. Oh, I've never been on a blimp.
That was pretty cool. We weren't 100% sure we were going to get up because it was looking like it might rain a little bit. Of course, weather really affects a blimp, but it held off, and we got to go up, and it was a blast.
A lot like, I guess, a helium or like a hot air balloon, maybe a bit, because Remax is, of course, the balloon, above the crowd, and, started with the balloon as, and it still is our logo. So, but they stopped allowing it in BC. Do you remember a few years ago when you would see the Remax?
Yeah, we had a couple accidents, and they did pull away from that, didn't they?
You know what? I don't know if it's from the accidents. I thought it was maybe because of all the airports and something to do with something like that. Or maybe, I don't know, because they still allow it in other provinces across Canada. They just don't allow it in BC. So I wanted to get my clients that gift, like as many times as I can hire them to come and do that. Wouldn't that be a cool gift?
Well, I'm thinking now, like from what you're saying, is that you need to get your helicopter license, because how much would that make your life easier going from property to property to property? It might be breaking a few aviation laws where you're landing the helicopter, but...
You know what? Just the other day I was doing an evaluation, and that listing is coming up actually after the 15th of this month. And they were saying I should get my helicopter's license, and then somebody else was telling me that, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting fed in my mind that I should probably get my helicopter's license.
You could get, put a little, you could have Richard build you a pad there at the house. You can land the helicopter there. You can take it up to your place in Sasquatch. Be like a 5-minute flight.
You know what? I'm going to look more into this because this would be fun.
I don't think your condo in Vancouver has a helipad on the roof, does it?
You know what? I'm going to check into that. Maybe. You never know. Maybe. No. Oh my gosh! It was just. It was amazing. So yeah, I had a great time, and I'm looking forward to it in 2 more years.
And if you had your helicopter license, you could fly down to the place on the Oregon coast.
You know how much faster you get places in a helicopter? I was shocked at how far we went and what we saw. We practically went to the border into BC.
Well, there's very few stoplights in the air.
Yeah, it's true.
That helps.
When they say "as the crow flies."
That's right.
Yeah.
So then, there's no real speed limits per se, things like that. So yeah, you get places a little faster.
But I love being the passenger so much because I just get to enjoy and not have to worry about anything. But I'm sure I would love it if I was flying it too.
Well, you could start by getting plane license. You could fly like little Cessnas or something. That would also get you down to the Oregon coast quicker.
True, but the helicopter, you just see so much more. I feel like you would see so much more.
But there's that whole thing about a helicopter in that first 200 feet, which I believe my buddy used to call, he took helicopters to work all the time. They call the death zone, I believe.
Oh, I did not know that.
That if the engine, stops working or something within that first 200 feet, there's really not anything the pilot can do except drop.
Oh.
Where if they're higher, they can do different techniques to kind of rotate with the rotors and kind of bring it down at a livable speed, but that first 200 feet is apparently a bit dicey.
Well, that kind of sounds right. I mean, it makes sense. You mentioned the Sasquatch cabin that I have.
Yes.
Okay, so because I want to mention that because there is all this fresh powdered snow up there right now, and I don't have it on Airbnb yet, and so it's available, and I'm giving a really good rate to anybody who wants to rent it. And I seriously just designed it all. It's so cozy, the wood burning fireplace, and it sleeps like 10 to 13 people comfortably. All new appliances. It's so nice, and it's a 10-minute walk to the base of the mountain or the restaurant there, and there's a coffee shop around the corner, and it's fantastic. So if you want to overnight there or a weekend, we got a pool table, air hockey, tons of board games. Yeah. Anyway, so that's available if anybody wants to rent. It's called All Seasons Cabin, but just contact me if you want a place to get away.
You haven't been up there skiing yet this year?
No, I know. I have this fantastic ski outfit, too. It's a onesie. It's a one-piece. Oh, it's so beautiful. And I haven't been able to use it yet.
It's funny. We went skiing there a few weeks back, just after Christmas, and my wife pulled out this old windbreaker ski jacket that she had. It must be from 1991.
Oh, it must be so cool.
It was funny because everybody kept, that's cool because it was retro.
Yeah.
This ski thing that she had, and she's like, yeah, it's retro, it's original. And everybody was complimenting her on it. And I'm like, I can't believe you still are wearing something you were wearing skiing 30 years ago.
See, that's why you never get rid of anything because it's always
cool
come
again.
Back in style.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not quite neon, but it's quite bright color.
Oh, I have to see it.
Yeah, she was loving it.
Oh my gosh. Skiing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got to see her in this outfit with skis in her hands and poles. It's
yes.
too cool.
Yeah,
too cool.
I tried to snowboard with middling results.
I can't snowboard. It hurts my knees, and I won't go there. Okay, so I just received in the mail last week the letters from the government about the speculation and vacancy tax declaration. Have you received yours?
I'd have to check my mail.
Yes, you got to do that once in a while.
Mailbox. I don't know when I checked my mail last.
Oh my goodness!
Well, everything comes electronically now, so like all the important stuff. Most of the important stuff comes electronically.
What about like my Christmas card I gave you? Did you check it for Christmas time?
I did get that actually, and my calendar.
Yay! The Pope calendar.
I look forward to that calendar.
Kelly and Curtis Pope. Yay!
I know Melanie Green here in the office looks forward to hers every year too. She gets very excited when she gets that.
I love those special calendars. I'm glad you enjoy them. You could even frame them, frame the pictures.
You could.
Mm-hmm. So I got, and I wanted to let everyone know, don't wait, don't delay on declaring, because, they give you until March 31st, but don't wait last minute. Just as soon as you get it, drop everything and just go online and do it, the 2-minute thing, and just do it. I encourage you.
It's like your property taxes. When you get the little folio number, just do it. Don't wait till July, whatever. Just get it done.
Don't, because you do not want the government to end up charging you, and then, trying to get that back will take forever. So do it before March 31st. And last, before we go on break, is that assessment that everyone received in the mail. So unfortunately, if you wanted to try to attest it, or you can't appeal it, you can't anymore. January 31st was the expiry day for appealing your BC assessment. But you know what? If you're going to sell in the next year or so, you don't want to appeal it anyways. No. If you think it's high. Yeah. You want it to be high.
Yeah. And, and the assessment office used to be in this building, but they moved. And a few weeks back, there was a lady that was very, very angry that they were no longer in the building.
And it's all your fault,
And it was
Curtis.
all my fault. Went basically up one side of me and down the other. And I'm like, I don't work for assessment. It was one of those this woman was so mad, this lady, and she came at me so aggressively. I was speechless.
Were you wearing your Country 107.1 FM jacket?
I was wearing my jacket, said, everything else. And I explained to her I didn't work for assessment. It did not matter because I was the person here. And I was the face of the building. And she had me speechless, which is so rare. I had no answers for her. And hopefully she felt better after she went up one side of me, down the other, and back up the other side.
You were her sounding board.
I was.
See, you did a good deed that day.
I did. And normally the smart aleck comments all start coming out or whatever else, but I was behaving because again she had me pretty speechless.
That's rare.
I know, and if I would have probably responded, she'd still be yelling at me in the lobby. So
where do you think she's at today?
Oh, I would have loved to have been a fly in the wall when because she was going home to phone the number from the door on the sign. And I would have loved to have been a fly in the wall. She
was going to give them her 2 cents.
She might literally still be yelling at somebody. It's been like 3 weeks.
Or her nickel.
Yeah.
Oh,
somebody,
poor thing.
Somebody got an earful at assessment.
They had been here for so long, and then to come and them not being here.
Yes.
She was probably wanting to appeal her assessment.
Probably.
Well, that was before March or before the end of January.
Before the deadline, so it was all good. Well, I guess we should take a quick break here. If people want information about your listings, about the services you provide as a real estate agent, where do they got to go?
MicheleCummins.ca.
We're back with more right after this.